My name is Mark Halverson, and 3 years ago, I was a man who believed in loyalty, hard work, and building a life with the woman I loved. We were married for 25 years, lived in a quiet suburb of Des Moines, 2 kids, a dog, a mortgage. From the outside, we were the American dream. But that dream, it ended quietly, with a password reset and a bank notification. It started small. Kathy, my wife, began working late. Accounting crunch, she said. More makeup than usual, less interest in dinners, conversations, even touch. And the worst part, I blame myself. Maybe I've gotten too boring. Maybe I'm not interesting anymore. I worked in construction management, 12-hour days, aging knees, grey hair creeping in. I wasn't glamorous, but I was steady. Kathy, though, had other plans. One evening, I got a strange email, a withdrawal alert. She'd emptied our joint savings account, $74,329. Gone. At first, I thought it was fraud. Called the bank. Your wife authorized the transfer yesterday, in person. I froze. When I got home, she was gone. So was her half of the closet, her jewelry, the spare car. She didn't leave a note. She left an empty drawer and a cold silence. The next morning, I found a file on our shared computer, one she forgot to delete. Plan for escape, final.x. Inside, flight details to Tampa, a rental near the beach, her name, and his, Jason Whitmore, a co-worker, married, 9 years younger. They'd been planning it for months, emails, Venmo receipts, hotel bookings while I was on the job. I sat in the dark with my coffee gone cold, staring at betrayal in Times New Roman font. She had done it. She took the money, the car, and my dignity. But what she didn't know, she'd just given me the clearest blueprint for revenge I could have asked for. The first weeks after she left were a blur. I slept 3 hours a night. I drank, angry. Then I drank again. Then I just stared at the ceiling. I didn't tell the kids. They were adults in college. I'd say, Mum's gone on vacation. We need some time. But time doesn't heal when there's only one voice in your head. You're nothing. She didn't love you. You were just convenient. One night, toward morning, I stood in my backyard with a mug of coffee and a cigarette I'd given up 15 years ago, and I realized I didn't want to be a victim anymore. I opened my laptop. I created a new folder, rebuild/retribution. I started with the most important thing, information. I created a fake LinkedIn and Facebook profile under the name Matt R. Jensen. Seemed like a regular guy from Miami. Pictures of dogs, running, a little sarcasm. And I added him, Jason Whitmore, office manager with delusions of grandeur, loved posting selfies with coffee and motivational quotes. After 2 weeks, I knew almost everything about him. He had a wife named Rebecca who didn't know anything. He had a tendency to flirt at work. He was on probation after one inappropriate joke. He thought he had it under control, but now he's under mine. Next step was hiring a private investigator in Tampa. Not cheap, but worth every penny. A month later, I had a full report. Rent, trips to restaurants, shopping with the money I had in my savings, pictures of them kissing in the car I used to take my kids to a baseball game. Now, the first move had to be made. I started with an anonymous letter to his wife, Rebecca. No threats, just the facts, a few photos, printouts of correspondence. Signed, talk to Jason about Katie Halverson. 3 days, he's off social media, profiles locked, phones unavailable. And Katie, she texted me. I know you had something to do with this. You're pathetic. You ruined everything. He left. He said it was too hard, that I was toxic. Are you happy now? Yes, Katie. Very. But it was just a warm-up. She didn't just steal my money. She stole my confidence, my face in front of my kids, my self-esteem, and I was going to get it all back, with interest. I found out she was filing for child support, even though she left, even though she took everything. The trial was scheduled in 2 months, and she was sure the judge would be on her side, so she showed up in a suit, with a lawyer. I came with evidence, bank statements, screenshots, files she didn't accidentally delete, and most importantly, the private investigator's testimony. The judge looked at everything. He looked at her, and he said, "Ms. Halverson, not only did you leave the house, but you took most of your assets with you, leaving your spouse destitute. From now on, you will be paying alimony." Her face at that moment, I wish I could have captured it. After the trial, I tasted victory. But revenge isn't about money. It's about regaining control of my life. I started to change myself. I lost 15 pounds. I went to the gym. I enrolled in interior design courses, something I dreamed of in my youth, but gave up for a stable job. Remodeled the house, changed the furniture, the paint, the smells. Everything that reminded me of her was gone. I bought a new dog, named her Joy. Every morning we went for walks in the park. Every night she lay at my feet. A year later, I met Laura, a photographer. She wasn't lighter than Kathy. She was real. As we drove together on the open-top highway, wind in our hair and coffee in our glasses, I realized I was alive again. Meanwhile, Kathy wrote letters, sometimes apologizing, sometimes accusing. One day she came to my house, no warning, stood at the door. "You've changed," she said. "I don't even know who you are now." I smiled. "I'm the one you accidentally awakened." She stood at my doorstep as beautiful as ever, but something in her eyes had changed. There was no more arrogance. There was weariness and a slight, almost imperceptible plea. "I've lost everything, Mark. Are you happy now?" I looked at her in silence. The answer was inside, but there was no need to say it. She hadn't lost everything because I had revenge on her. It was because she made her own choices. The trial, the family, the man she'd given up everything with. It all backfired on her. Jason disappeared. Rebecca filed for divorce. Katie was alone. No job, no money, no support. But most of all, without the victim image she'd clung to all her life. We talked, not as enemies, not as exes, but as two people who realized too late that resentment is a poison you drink yourself. She left quietly. I closed the door and felt no more pain or anger, only relief. A year later, I sat on the porch with Laura and Joy. The house smelled of cinnamon and fresh wood. On the wall were my new paintings. On the laptop, client submissions. I don't build houses anymore. I help people create coziness, interiors, spaces, light. I once read in a book, real revenge is not destroying someone's life. It's to build theirs anew and make it something they could never have imagined. I get it. I wasn't getting revenge on Katie. I was saving myself.